What's going on, everybody? Welcome into this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We're getting ready to get in the saddle with my peeps. If I can see them and catch them in the building. What up? What it do? Tailor Made is in the building tonight. We're getting ready to have a great conversation. But before we do, we ask that while you're coming in, go ahead and click those buttons and click that SHARE button. Let some people know that you're in the hot seat with myself and my homeboy Tailor Made Speaks. So we're getting ready to have a powerful conversation on tonight. Last week's session was super dope. Taylor, we got some crazy good feedback about last week's session. And we got to hit it again. I mean, we just got to hit it again.
Absolutely. Look, I'm so excited to get into this conversation. Y'all don't know it's going to be on.
And it's not going to be toxic at all.
No, not at all.
It is a no toxic 2023 zone. Taylor, what's up? It's 2023 and we've already crossed over into a new year. How you feeling about what's going on in 2023 so far? We've been in 2023 for 3 whole days.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I've started in 2022 for my 2023. So for me, it's just a one continuation thing. And you know how some people, they have their New Year's resolution and, you know, we're going to get in the gym. And so I started all these things before leading up to 2023. So it's just pretty much just a crossover, but I'm excited. I really have a good feeling in the inside of me that there's amazing thing that's going to be happening. There's going to be some people that's going to be married, Koffe. There's going to be some people that's going to get married this year. I am so excited.
Married to who?
Married to their significant other, hopefully. Married to the person that they've been talking to, the person that they've been working together, the person that they've been building. Hopefully, that's the person that they're going to come together and say, you know what, we're going to tie this knot and we're going to take it home.
Okay, if that's how you feeling and you trying to get people married off for 2023, you
absolutely. Look, let me tell you, look, Miss P. Koffe, look, there's people right now that's not waiting. Like they are getting it. And I see that. I see that energy. They are women, they are men that's going after what they want. Okay. And we usually talk about relationships. I'm telling you, there's people that's literally inboxing people and telling people, giving them the little, the little hint that, hey, I'm interested in you. It's happened. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Just because somebody sends somebody an inbox message talking about I'm interested, that don't mean it's gonna be reciprocated.
No, 100%. But see, you got to take the action. Like, you never know unless you try it, right? So you gotta just put it out there and just see what comes back, right? You got to put yourself out there. You got to position yourself.
Y'all see me on social media. You know how to reach me. If you're trying to holler, send a DM. You've been sending them. Keep sending them. You've been sending them. Stop. Y'all been sending them doggone DMs.
Yeah, but we need some real DMs. We need some real DMs. We don't need that.
No, I have had some real DMs. But let me ask you something, Taylor. I've noticed this a lot lately, probably because I lighten my hair even more. Maybe this is what the dilemma is. But the sons of God have been calling me my love. What does that mean? I have gotten like 4 or 5 DMs that say my love. I'm like, what does that mean? How am I your love?
They're reverencing you. They're reverencing you.
Oh, it's a reverence.
That new look shifted something. So they're reverencing you, which is good. They're appreciating you. They're caressing and enticing you, right? They're saying my love, like they don't want to come off too hard. Some people be like, hey, hey boo, that's kind of aggressive. Like they're trying to own you. Now look, they're not trying to own you, but they're just trying to reverence you. Hello to you, right?
But when somebody says my love, Taylor, that's very, very personal. It's not LUV, it's LOVE.
No, 100%. Is like my flower, right? Something that is beautiful. Remember.
How do I get to be your love if I'm not your love?
Well, it's just I don't know. I think it's just a figure of speech. Instead of using those other terms that sometimes guys use. My love. I mean, some people might be like, "Look, we ain't there yet," but it's a form of reverence.
Well, it's a turn off for me. It's a huge turn off. A guy coming in my DM and I'm not in a relationship with you and you calling me your love. And another thing too, when a guy extends an olive branch and says, "Hey, call me sometime," and you call him, he's not available, but he never calls back. He just texts all the time. What is that about?
Call me sometime. I just think it's a closing remark. It's not. It's. I don't think it's any
It doesn't
truth
have
to
any, it
it.
doesn't hold any value. No
Yeah,
value.
because let me tell you something. That guy will be calling you. Hey, can I get your
That's
number?
what I thought. Because I'm like, I said to myself, I said, I don't think that holds any value. I think that's just a like a buddy buddy something. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, if I tell somebody don't be a stranger, you best to believe I'm gonna reach out. Now I might not reach out the next day or next two
Mhm.
weeks or what have you, but I am gonna reach out and say, hey, how you doing? Right? Don't be a stranger. And sometimes, you know, when I say don't be a stranger, I'm not expecting the person to initiate. If I say don't be a stranger, it's coming from me, right? If I'm telling you don't be a stranger, then I got to take that move. I mean, why would I say don't be a stranger if it means if I'm not going to initiate anything? That doesn't make any sense, right?
It
But I'm
doesn't. It
100.
doesn't. But somebody in the comments said it was it's terms of endearment. I just find it weird that a guy would call you my love if you're not his love. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not together. So, and I got like 5 or 6 of them. Oh, I mean, it's only been like within the last. Normally, it's other stuff because I am a little bit. I do come across a little sensual at times. I get other comments or whatever, but I kind of ignore those too. But when I just have been noticing that, like, especially over the last 6 9 like, what you mean, my love? What does that mean? I'm like, I'm not I can't be your love if I'm not your love. And I'm just like, why y'all say that?
Well, all I know is that you must be blossoming like a flower over there, because if they're calling you my love, usually, like I said, sometimes you'll hear hey, sweetie, hey, hun,
Right.
right?
I'm right, right. But the my love, I'm telling you, Taylor, that's too personal. If you say my love, LOVE, not LUV,
Mhm.
LOVE, that suggests that I mean more to you than just a general person.
You know,
You know what I'm
when
saying?
you
That's just
know,
what I think.
and I can't speak for all guys, right? I can speak for me, and I think I could have a voice for the guys. I mean, I am a guy,
But
right?
do you go on women's DMs and call them my love?
No,
LOVE?
because I don't want to give them the wrong impression. Now, if I like you, I don't care. See, if I like you, if I'm interested in you, I really don't care. But if I'm not interested in you, I would never give off that impression. But here's the thing, right? Some people take those words literally, right? And so you got to be careful of certain things. And I didn't understand that. And I didn't understand. I remember I had said to somebody, I said, "Oh, she's my girl." And let me tell y'all something. That young lady went back to a mutual friend of ours
Hmm.
and was like, Taylor said, I'm his girl. And my friend was like, Taylor, I know what you meant. You didn't mean it. You joke, because I like to have
Right.
fun,
You didn't
joke.
mean it like saying you my woman.
Exactly. But this girl took it and ran with it, right? So I got to be careful on certain terminology that I use, especially when you're dealing with the opposite sex. But a lot of guys, we say things sometimes, to be honest with you, just to say it. There's no feeling, there's no emotion behind it. It's just like at work. It's just like at work. You dealt with it all the time at work. Hey, sweetie, we used to say that before this whole movement happened. We used to say some stuff to women,
Well, true. Terms,
and
yeah, that's true.
and there was no sex, there was no nothing. It was
But it's just the my love thing, the LOVE. When I see that, I start cringing. Now, LUV is kind of like a cute like pet thing, like.
right.
But when somebody says LOVE, it's like that makes me that makes me not want to respond to you because it makes me feel weird. Like you got this weird thing going on with me that I ain't got going on with you, kind of concept, if that makes sense.
100%. That's why in text, if somebody was to say, love you, Taylor, what have you, I'll always return it back. Love you back, but I used to say love ya, ya with apostrophe, right?
Mhm.
So it's more not personal. It's more of
Correct.
a
Correct.
friendly kind of thing, right?
And
Love
that
ya,
makes
like
sense. So
see
that
ya.
way, are you not saying, Coffee, I love you? If you said put my name before it, that's real love. Now, if you put my name after it, that's questionable. But if you put Coffee, I love you, oh, I'd be like, oh, Taylor,
But here's the
oh,
thing, though. But here's the thing, though. But here's the thing, though. Some men be like, "Yo, I love me some coffee." What if I say it like that?
no, I don't feel nothing about that. If you put my name in the front and say Coffee, I love you, that's all personal. But if you say I love me some coffee, hell, you could be talking about damn Folgers for all I know. Hell.
100%. For me, I remember on social media, I'm very particular on my comments, right?
Mhm.
And so I've had guys that said that to me, no, disrespect or anything like that, but they have
Mhm.
said that to me, for me, I treat everybody equal, right? So if a woman says I love you, if a guy said, bro, I love you, I say it right back. Hey, I love you too, man. Hey, I love you too.
Right,
I return the love back, right? But
right.
I do it equal. I'm not gonna say it to
But
one
you're not
specific
doing it
person.
from a space of relationally
No,
connecting to that individual independently. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people when that's the reason why a lot of times I think that people think that somebody is interested in them in a different way than they actually are because of the terminology that they use to address them. And I think sometimes with these DMs, things get real convoluted and people aren't very clear. So we're gonna get on out them DMs. We didn't talk about that. I want to talk about this topic that we got on the table tonight. This is gonna be good. How do I keep my identity in a long-term relationship? How do I do that? Well, first of all, let me start by saying this. When it comes to long-term commitments, one of the most important things that we have to realize when it comes to long-term commitments is, who am I right now? How am I living my life right now? What do I do to contribute to me right now? What do I do to make me happy right now? What do I do that is something that I really love and I enjoy immensely that I just don't foresee removing from my life? Even if I have a partner, what is it that I really, really, really enjoy that I currently do? Not something that I want to add on. I'm talking about what I currently do to add value to me. Like for instance, I go to different places around the city because I love to forge new friendships and partnerships and relationships, right? So I go
yeah,
to all these different places all over the city to happiness hour because you meet a lot of different people in those environments. I've met movie stars, football players. I've met matter of fact, I met what's the boy name? Boris Kojo, Nicole, what's her name? His wife. Nicole, what is the lady name? Pretty Green Eyes that played on Empire and she was on
um,
Brown what is it? Brown
Tahaji,
Sugar?
Tahaji,
No,
Tahaji.
Nicole.
Oh no!
Boris
Oh
Kojo's wife.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Um
yes. I don't
yeah,
remember.
Nicole something. I can't think of her last name. But they don't have the same last name, of course. But I met her um and had a great conversation with her. She has family that lives here in Houston, so she's always here. Her husband's people live in Houston, so she's always in town, whatever. Um, I mean, I've literally sat next to a billionaire once, and I didn't know he was a billionaire, and somebody told me who the guy was, and I'm just sitting there chopping it up with him. I'm like, yeah, and such and such, that's and such, da, da, da. Because I enjoy people, right?
Right,
So when I get into a long term commitment, I'm not going to stop doing that. That's something that adds to me. I love meeting new people and building bridges and connecting people to other people. And that's something I'm very, very passionate about. And of course, with my doing, even like with this talk show and stuff like that, it's just a innate part of who I am. I like people. I really like people genuinely. Even though I am an introvert, nobody knows that, but I'm very introverted. Like I am phlegmatic when I'm in public, but when I come home to me, myself, I and whoever I'm partnered with. I don't do house parties. I don't have people in my home. I never host events in my house. None of that kind of never. When I say never, I mean NEVR. Let me tell you, I hosted an event for a group of ladies probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was just freaking out because I don't like people in my space like that. It just kind of because I feel like I'm on edge the whole time. I was just every time they put something down, Taylor, I was cleaning up. I just can't help it. That's because I'm an introvert. Introverted people, when it's just too much for them in their personal space. Now, if I'm somewhere else, I'm good. But when I am in my personal space, I can't. I'll be like, oh God, it's so many people. And it could be 4 people, and I'm just straight bugging, right? So, anywho, I have to know that these things have this effect on me when I have a partner. Because if I don't have me under control and understand me, then it's going to be easy for me to get lost in the translation of building that partnership with that person. So, one of the main ways not to lose yourself in a long term commitment is, do you know you? Have you created a bond with yourself? People say all the time, I hear people talk, especially in the coaching space. I'm a certified master life coach. And in the coaching space, I hear people talk about all this stuff that they got to have somebody. No, you don't. What is wrong with you? You got to have you. Have you
Yeah.
gotten to know you? Do you have a relationship with you? Are you in love with you? Have you invested any energy into getting to know yourself? What makes you what is it that makes you happy? It's kind of like the concept, when coming to America, when the girl comes for him to marry her, she gives all of this stuff about him, but there's nothing that she incorporates about herself. Nothing. And that is one main way to get really lost in a relational translation, to where you feel like, oh, I'm with this person and they don't even see me. Well, you don't see you. So how are they going to see you if you don't see you? And I think that people get lost in relationships because they have not created their own identity. They don't know themselves. They don't know what contributes to them. They don't know what ruffles their chains. They don't know, what makes them happy. They don't know, they don't have this holistic bond with themselves that's so strong
Hmm.
that is impenetrable, regardless of who they're with. And I think that's one main reason why people have and this is from a woman's perspective, right? Although I do a lot of coaching for men, I'd rather coach a guy than a girl any day. And it's a number of reasons for that, which we're not going to get into right now. But
Right.
as a woman, I listen to women quite frequently, and my education is even in communications, and I listen to women even when I was in school, and we would have all this stuff going on, and we would do all these surveys and all this kind of stuff, and survey 5, 6, 700 people about women about this or men about that. And it almost was inevitable that some lady would say something about, I got lost in my relationship with this guy, that guy. And I had a guy who I coached who got lost in his wife. And he was like, I don't even know what happened, but I feel like I'm on the back burner of this show that's all about her life.
Mm.
And I was like, now, you hear this more when it comes to women, Taylor. You don't hear it as much when it comes to men, but there are some men who deal with this, who feel like they're in their wife's shadow.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times a lot of times, when you look at finances, and that's why, whoever is the breadwinner, that's who you follow. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah, there are some people that do give that authority or that leadership to the person. Like, say, if a woman is the breadwinner, there's some women that will submit to their husbands, and give their husband the the say so of running the house, right? The say so of, going on vacations and what have you, and oh, we need to save this, although she's making the bulk of the money. But in a lot of cases, I don't see it that way. I see that the person that's making the money is the say so. So if you're in a relationship where you have a female and a male, and the female is making more money, he's really going by what she wants, right? If she wants this type of house, it's hard for him to say no when she's making the money, right? If she wants, I remember this one guy, she was making 250,000 a year. He was making 55,000 a year. Um, and she go on these vacations, and he has no say so. He can't tell her no, don't go. I mean, he can if they had that kind of relationship, but she's going to do what she want to do. So he goes along with her, right? That's just how that relationship is. So I think a lot have to do with money and power, right? Position,
Mhm.
like you discussed, right? So, if I was in maybe a leadership position, like say I was a senator, say I was a governor, right? I have this high position. I'm always in the limelight, or I'm an actor, or what have you, and you're not. But one thing that we have to realize is that the person that lost themselves in the other individual,
Mhm.
there's two ways that we can look at this
Mhm.
situation. Is either I gave myself up to the person,
Mm.
or or the situation was created where I had no choice but to conform. And a lot of times when you hear people saying I lost myself, is because they have given up everything that they used to do, and now the focal point, and they pour everything into that individual.
But
um
that's very, very dangerous, because after you're done pouring all of this into this person, and then they become this whatever they become, sometimes they're gonna leave you after that. I've seen that happen before, where that person has gotten to this certain pinnacle of success, or this certain level of where they wanted to go. And then they got me here. Now I don't require that same support system any longer. And then that relationship ends up being dissolved. That's another reason why both individuals have to have something that gives them that individuality that they came in with, and that they can continuously build upon. Even the monetary aspect. um I remember my dad was talking about what you just mentioned, Taylor, about the monetary element. And my dad said, I don't care if she earned $5 million, she's not the head of the household, not according to biblical principle. My dad was like, well, who do you subscribe to? Let's talk about that first. Who do you subscribe to? And if you subscribe to the Godhead from a Christian perspective, and some other religious,
Right.
systematic religious organizations, where they see, Yahweh Jehovah God as the head of the family from a spiritual aspect, then the man is the leader, accountable to the creator, and the wife comes alongside him, and then they have their children, so on and so forth, and whatever, however they create the dynamic for their relationship. And it doesn't say, if he earns this, then you go alongside him. It doesn't say that. It doesn't give that order of the day. So I feel like, when my dad said that, I said, well, that sounds wonderful.
Mhm.
However, a person has to really, really, really be in tune with their spirituality from that perspective, for that type of dynamic to work. Because at the end of the day, if my husband being the person that I subscribe to, as far as from a leadership perspective, when I go in and we're having our discussions about where we're headed, whatever, if I came in and I earned $17 million, and my husband just so happened to work in a traditional environment, and we didn't know I was going to get rich. We knew I used to say it all. He probably, like, she did say that. She's been telling me forever she's going to be rich. She's been telling me since she met me, hey, you looking at a rich woman. I'm about to blow up. And he just be like, I heard her saying it, but I was like, when she did, I was like, Lord, this girl really blew up. However, I'm still gonna have to yield to that man's authority if I am going to be in a relationship with him. It doesn't really matter that I earned all of this money. One person that I can say who I have the utmost respect for with that is Fantasia. You see how she responds to her husband? Her husband don't
Yes.
make no money like what she made at all.
Nope.
And she responds to him in such a beautiful, respectful manner at all times. I've never seen her, show any kind of air of her being the man or nothing. I've never seen her do that. And it's so beautiful because she's still her. She still does what she does. She still does what she was doing before she got with him. Yet when she's with him, you can clearly see the line drawn in the sand as to who the authority is inside of that experience.
No, absolutely. I think, even if, I was to talk about my life, and I met somebody that was, say, just a regular person going to work,
Mhm,
and I'm still doing my social media, speaking engagements and what have you, um, and they blew up,
mhm,
and now the whole world know this person, right?
mhm.
Guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm still going to be doing this. I'm not.
Because that's what I created for me. And that's so important. And we talked about this earlier. The
Absolutely.
biggest thing is people, I can't be so subscribed to your broadcast that I forget that I'm on the air too. I can't do that. And it's gotta be a mutual love, freedom, and respect that goes both ways, regardless of, like you mentioned earlier, the money thing. The money thing is a big issue for a lot of people. But regardless of that, it's gotta be where there's mutual love, freedom, and respect. And we just love this human, not the stuff that they have. This particular human does it for me. And because
No.
this particular human does it for me, I'm sold. I'm totally sold. And I love them being them. That's what I was attracted to in the first place. I was attracted to Coffee from watching her on that dang TV show. Every time I turn around, she was on TV or she was, doing something with her boutique or she encouraging somebody. When I go on her TikTok, she always got these encouraging messages and something. I just liked her because of who she is. I figured, I was like, oh, she doing this, but I didn't know she was gonna be, the next big talk show host. I didn't know that, but I was just sold on her as a human being. She did it for me, or vice versa. I saw Taylor. He was always doing them old ratchet behind TikTok, and on Instagram doing crazy stuff. And it was so appealing to me because he just came across as this liberated, free human being, and it was so attractive and appealing to me. And I absolutely am in love with him being who he is. I just love him as a human being. He keeps me smiling, and that for me that was so important. And that's how we have to look at it when it comes to relationships. You get lost because you haven't found you. That's the only way you really can get lost is if you haven't created your own identity. That's how we get lost.
Or we walk away from ourselves.
Well, that's true.
You look back and you walk away from
Yeah,
yourself.
that's true. That's true. Ooh, that listen. You know what, Taylor? Let me tell you something. When you just said that, it made me think of you remember when the best man first initially came out, right?
Yes.
When Robin and what was his character? What's Tay Diggs' character? Harper.
Harper, yes.
When her and Harper, when she was first coming into her own, when she first started her chef journey, she was making stuff in their brownstone and getting her feet wet as a chef and whatever. When she was doing that, there was this air of respect for her doing it, and he was just proud of her, whatever. Even though he would make little jokes about, oh, now you're doing this, now you're doing that. And he knew what he was going to do. He always wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
That was his thing. He wanted to be a writer. But she gave herself up, like what you just said, to be with him. And then it backfired on him and her when they got to the best man, the final chapter stuff. And it's so unfortunate what happened to them because she let her go dealing with him. That was her choice and her decision. And because she decided that when it was time for her to create this space for herself, it wasn't a mutual love, freedom, and respect there. Because for one thing, if you notice how he responded to Jordan in every single scenario, he had this innate respect for her because she always pursued whatever she said she was going to pursue. And she never backed off of it. Even when
Yes.
she was with
True.
that guy, that guy that she really loved and cared about, she didn't back off of who she was. This was
True.
her. She always made it very clear. And I think that's what happens with us. Like you said, we find these people that we really like them, we really enjoy their company, we really enjoy them being present in our life, and we subscribe so heavily into them. Like you said, we lose ourselves, or we haven't had the chance to build us to where we know exactly who we are. Like, you know what, Taylor? On average, when I ask a woman who she is, you know what she tells me first? Take a wild guess. She tells me what
Um,
she does for a living. That's not who
mm,
you are. That has nothing to do with who you are. That's what you do. That's not who you are. And immediately I know from just that one interaction that this woman has not discovered who she is as a woman, not because I got this degree and I did, I got this accomplishment, I got this accolade. That is not who you are. And I
mm,
think if we really, really dug deep with with these connections with people, Taylor, had these conversations, we would realize that the person that we're dealing with, they haven't discovered themselves yet. So I can't be
true.
with you until you discover you.
True. No, 100%. And I think that don't stop what you're doing. I always, anytime I meet somebody, I always try to find out what are the things that they like, right? And not only that, and don't stop. When somebody's going out with their girlfriend, say I'm dating someone and they're going out with their girlfriends, and they might be used to other guys checking in and texting and all that stuff. I don't do that.
Me neither. I'm terrible. And I tell
Me.
one guy, let me tell you something. I am so bad, Taylor, in a good way. I tell guys all the time, please don't check in with me because I'm not gonna check in with you. Don't waste your time. It's okay. Whatever you do with your life is your business between you and your creator. And even when me and Mr. Brown were married, we didn't the only way that we had check-ins was because when he retired me, I pretty much became his slave, pretty in a sense. Not literally, but because we had young children and he retired me when I was 25. So when our kids were younger, when I was 28, when our children were younger, it was just that the check-ins was because we had these young souls that we had to attend to. But before the baby stuff started to manifest, it wasn't I didn't reach out to him and say, "Where you at? What time you coming in?" Huh? You an adult. When you get here, you get here. Unless I
Absolutely.
had cooked something, or if it was a reason for it, like, something that I wanted to surprise him and I was getting sleepy or something like that. But other than that, I didn't check in. I just didn't.
But not only that, I'm like, you had a life before I do, right? You had friends before I do. Like those things need to continue, right? And I always tell, I always, I might get a different perspective on this, right? When it comes to best friends, I've always heard this. I want you to be my best friend. Here's my thing. I already have a best friend. You are either my girl or you're my wife. I personally, because here's the thing: when you're mad at me, who do you go? Sometimes you might go to your best friend. And I'm not saying go to your friends and share your business. I'm just saying
Sure.
like you having a bad day, what have you. I don't want, I don't want, I don't want you to be so consumed on
Mhm.
me when you already have things in place. We're coming
Right.
together, right? We're coming together. Yeah, certain things might change, but the person that you are, if you like going out and sitting by the pool and reading your books, I want you
Mhm.
to continue doing that. Don't stop that because now you got to sit and look at me while I'm watching a game or something. Like, I don't want that. Any person that I talk to that says they have no friends, I run. I don't entertain. You don't have
Yeah,
no friends.
because that's not healthy. That's not healthy, period. You gotta have, and then too, when you're coming together, there are going to be, like you said, Taylor, certain things that we're gonna end up cultivating, which makes us us.
Yes.
These things is what's going to make us us. However, you're an individual. So what makes you you is still going to be you you, and what makes me me is still going to be me me. And we have to learn how to have that, again, mutual love, freedom, and respect, to where we are good with our person enjoying the life that they've been granted. It's not my life to lead. I'm just a participant in your journey. It's not my life. It's still your life to lead. However you choose to lead it, I am just participating in that journey with you. But I want you to enjoy, explore, and do what contributes to your happiness. So let me pull these out. So I wrote down a few things. Um, and I think we've pretty much said something about a lot of them, but I'm still going to read them off because I want people to contemplate them. So the first one is some of the major ways to keep plugged into yourself when you get into a relationship. One is establish some meaningful communication. Make sure that the person that you're with, you are a good enough communicator until they're crystal clear about what to expect from you. One thing about relationships is it's never good if it's in the gray.
Mhm.
If it's black or white, we're good. If it's in the gray, that's when we have these problems that arise and these conflicts that would not have existed had we been black or white. What you think, Taylor?
No, for 100%, communication has to happen, and that's the issue. We're jumping in these relationships. We're having sex right off the bat. We're not knowing the individual. By the time you know it, we're married, and you still don't even know who you're married to. And so when these things arise and somebody do become successful in the middle of this relationship, you don't even really know who the person is. And then now you start saying the person is changing, the person is acting funny. One thing that I understand is that yes, things shouldn't change you,
Hmm.
but situation and circumstance changes, and you have to sometimes adjust, right? So yeah, I might not be the same person on social media, but guess what? When we walk out of this house can stay the same, but when we
Right,
leave these doors, guess what? It's showtime, right?
right.
So those things have to, but here's the thing: if you're with somebody that they don't understand, that you never explain that this all of a sudden happened, they didn't ask for this, like we discussed earlier, right? I didn't
Mhm.
ask for all of this stuff, right? And so now there's a shock and awe. This person is on this level, this person is on this level, and usually when stuff like that happen, I've only seen a very few: Michelle and Barack Obama, Denzel
Mhm.
Washington and his wife, right? And we can
Mhm.
name some other things, but those people have been with each other for
Mhm.
years, and then when the fame came.
Right. But the fame, see, here's a deal too. You know, the fame came after their process. It didn't. One of them wasn't famous, and then the other one was like, I ain't never seen her or him in my whole life. I think that's another big dilemma when you have a person who aspires to become, marry somebody that is. A lot of times there can be a loss in translation in those type dynamics because this person that is has certain specific requirements because they're already there at that certain pinnacle of success. It's like marrying somebody. I have a friend who I dated who was a multimillionaire, and he used to ask me all the time, "Well, what you gonna do when this and that happens?" I said, "It'll be on the calendar." but I'm still gonna do my show. I'm still gonna do this and that. And he used to laugh at me because he used to be like, "Well, you're not gonna be on my arm, Candy." For I said, "No, I'm not gonna be on your arm." And no, hell no. Why? And he was like, he used to laugh, but at the same time, he was like, "I appreciate you
Yes.
authentically holding on to yourself for dear life." Because he was like, "You see how it could be snatched away from you?" I said, "Oh, hell yeah. You already got this monstrosity of a life, right? And I'm establishing my monstrosity of a life. And two of us coming together, it's gonna be a problem because I'm gonna feel like I can't still do what I feel like I've been created to do." And we broke up for different reasons, but we had a clear and very very clear understanding of expectations and stuff like that. He said, "So I'm not going to look for you to be," he said, "but can I look at for you to be at like 70% of the stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, 70%, but that other 30, you better go solo and behave yourself." And he just laughed because I was being sincere and honest. I said, I know me. And I know how hard I've worked to become the woman that I am. I'm not
Yeah.
willing to give her up. I'm under no circumstances for nobody, period. And we all have to do that, male or female. I'm not willing to give me up for anything. No, no. And no one should. And if someone wants you to do that, then you have to bow out gracefully. Because that person doesn't, that's not mutual love, freedom, and respect at all.
Oh, I just had a revelation. But
I'm
this is another conversation.
listening.
You shouldn't be with anybody that wants you to give yourself up, and you shouldn't be with anybody that wants you to resurrect your old self.
Oh, that's a problem too. You're right. You're right. That's very true. Ooh, here's another thing to stay yourself in a relationship. Make sure that once you get into that relationship and you guys have established whatever you've established, that you stay connected to your physical aspects of the relationship. You know, when you're with somebody and then you get kind of like you said, as you start to reach these certain pinnacles and we get busy and stuff starts happening, sometimes we have a tendency to neglect the physical expression with our person. So in order to stay yourself in that relationship, you got to stay connected to the sexuality that you brought to the table for that person to experience, because you still want to be you in that way and still give them what you've given them, regardless of what else is going on. You don't want to not be able to stay relevant sexually either. That's gonna be a problem. If you don't stay you and you gave this man all this good loving, you're right here swinging on chandeliers, girl. You're dancing like you've been stripping since the 40s. You're popping it like it's hot, got the boy mind blown, and now you know you out so much he never gets a chance to experience that. And so part of you being you is you showing up as that amazing woman in the bedroom that he's grown accustomed to. Can't switch up and be like, "Oh, I'm only gonna do missionary position now. I'm tired. I've been doing all." No, that ain't how you showed up. So another way to stay yourself in a relationship is to stay true to your sexuality, what you presented and given for that person to experience. You want to keep it, and you want to keep connected to that because it's important for both of y'all that you stay connected to
You know how many people substitute that with money?
that. Hmm.
You
And
know,
other stuff.
yeah, a lot of people that's famous, they'll pay off their partner. You know, I'm been busy so much and I've been neglecting you, but I'll
I
just,
bought you this and that. Yeah.
yeah, there's money in the bank, you know, go shopping, go with your girlfriends, you could go on trips, whatever, to just keep you kind of
A piece. A piece.
yeah, peace, right? And neglecting that personal time, you know, the walks that you guys used to do, the movie nights that you used to have, right? And that's why I believe that every relationship should have check-ins, right? I really do believe that it's no different than
90-day check-ins, no more than 90 days. Because if you go past 90 days, then that's neglect at that point. 90-day check-ins, I 155% agree.
yeah, just like that car. Remember we talked about that
The
car.
tune-ups, you're not going that car only can go for so long
Yeah,
without going to get maintained. And you know what? I think that that has to be something that is intentionally deliberate.
yes,
Even if it's so much so where you just kind of, even if y'all are super busy producing whatever you're producing and creating whatever you're creating, sometimes you and your person can do it in a text message. Depends on the person that you're with. Y'all can text and say, hey, it's time to check in. I want to know, am I still contributing to your happiness? And we got to be okay with that person saying, right now, no. And let me tell you, here's why. Or right now, yes, right now. However, there's some more dynamics that's getting ready to change. So we might have to make some adjustments over the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever. But we got to be so honest as far as what we desire, what we want, what we experience with our person, because we, in all fairness to yourself and to that person, in order to keep that relationship in an amazing place, you gotta be very, very transparent and honest, because if not, it ends up turning into something negative where a clean conversation could have resolved it.
no, absolutely. And marriage is tough. I don't know if for those that
I don't think it is. I think we say
well,
that. I think we say that, and that's what makes it tough because what we say is what happens. I don't think marriage is tough. I think not staying true to you and having that mutual love, freedom, and respect, that's what would make it tough.
no, no, I totally agree. I'm with that, and I think the reason why I was saying that is if we look at that, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, she said she hated him for 10 years.
But you know
she
what that had, but you know what that had to do with though, right? That had to do with the child. It wasn't that she hated him. She disliked the process and the journey they were on. When you listen to everything that she talked about, it was nothing more than her talking about the child rearing years. I don't think there is a woman in America, it may be a couple of them, that don't feel like their husband is free and they're bound to babies. You know what I'm saying? When you give birth, it depends, especially if you're a nursing woman like me.
oh,
If you're a nursing woman, you bound for real, boo, because your husband don't have no breast milk. He can't nurse them people. Them tiny humans got to be nursed by you. So you are, and I think a lot of times, Taylor, and I love her transparency because she focused on them babies. That's what she was talking about for the most part. Him
yes,
being able to still walk away. Like I mean, but think about it. He walked away when he impregnated you. He ain't had no big belly. He wasn't uncomfortable for 9 months. He walked away the minute he put that sperm in there. He still got up and was like, okay, he didn't have to pee 700,000 times, have no baby sitting on his sciatic nerve, got somebody digging up in you every doggone month trying to make sure the baby all right and you all right. No, a man doesn't have, it's always in a detachment because he doesn't have to deal with the burden of the bearing. That brunt of responsibility is on, we're the ones that were designed to hold that tiny human and protect them and protect ourselves for a whole 9 months and then bring them to the earth and then provide sustenance for them for whatever period of time we determine is most advantageous for them and us, and so on and so forth. So a lot of us feel like a guy gets, goes scot free when it comes to procreation. It's the way the natural process is. You
true.
know, Taylor, I used to get, my husband used to get up in the middle of the night. He go get Yasmin, right? He ain't got no breasts. He gonna bring her right in there to me. It was no getting around it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, true.
So what she was talking about had to do with babies. Once her children got older, then guess what? I don't feel like I'm so bound to that level of responsibility with these tiny humans. Now I don't have to nurse nobody. They know how to go to the bathroom by themselves. When daddy takes them somewhere, I feel confident that he can take them somewhere and they can go in the bathroom together, the two little girls, and
True.
he can stand outside the restroom. Well, I'm not gonna feel comfortable if I got two daughters and my husband. I don't, I didn't feel comfortable with that, although my husband insisted on it. I got him. I got him. And 99% of the time he did have him. However, I didn't feel so comfortable with my husband having to take two little girls somewhere, knowing that they were still small. It was just a level of discomfort.
Right.
But that's a part of the process of relationship. And her dislike and disdain for him was attached to that. And she made it so clear. And you know what's interesting, Taylor?
Uh,
So many people read into that what she did not say.
wow. Look, I love me some Barack Obama and Michelle Obama.
I do too. I love how they have been able to give us a picture of reality without intrusion. We haven't been invited to their personal life. They don't let
True.
us into their personal life, but they give us a realistic view of what life is for them without us being able to intrude.
No, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. I wish Denzel and his wife they would give us a snapshot because I would
It-
love to
they're not
see.
gonna. No, that's not
I'm,
gonna happen. No, it's too late.
I know. True.
It's way
True.
too late. And I feel like if you look at Denzel's personality, even in the public when he does all this stuff, even when he does the speaking engagements for collegiate institutions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
he guards that personal space so heavily that I feel like he would feel violated if we
Yeah.
knew too much about him. Morris Chestnut, nobody knows about Morris and his wife. He's
No,
been married forever.
nothing.
And most people don't even know he married.
I didn't
LL
know he
Cool
was
J.
married.
LL Cool J been married to the same woman since they've been together since high
But
school.
see, LL Cool J wife. I've watched her in an interview. She said him licking his lips and the girls going crazy. It's a business. She understand.
But what I love about her is this is what I love about her. She didn't come in on the end of something. She was there from the
Yeah.
inception. And so
Yes.
the establishment of what was going to happen. And look, I ain't never seen LL naked on nobody film. I ain't never, ever seen LL putting his body parts in somebody else's body parts on somebody's TV. Have you?
Never. Never.
His wife is one of them people where she looked like he better not cross her. You ever see how that face the faces that lady made? But
Yeah.
but look how incredible that is. That goes back to what we said, that she never lost herself in him.
Absolutely.
She never did. And even with Denzel's wife, even though we don't know her, she's never been set in this light to where she always was playing some back to something. He just kept his life totally separate. This is what I do for a living. That's not who I am. When he's not in front of the film, you're not gonna find his life publicized in any capacity. Not having it.
Absolutely. I don't know too much about Pink and her husband, but
Okay.
I know that her husband do take care of the kids and everything while she goes on tour or while she's traveling or whatever. You'll see him in the background, but he has the kids. And she said, yeah, he doesn't work. He's the one that stays home and takes care of the house and takes care of the kids while I go to work.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know where did he enter into her life? Was it before or
Right.
was it while she was?
That's another couple that is very private about
Yes.
even the inception of their partnership. But
Yes.
um here's something else. Don't idolize your partner. In order for you to stay true to you in a relationship, don't make your partner an idol. Don't do that. That's a good one.
That is a good one. And you know what's so interesting? It's, I wonder if it's hard. Say, for instance, just say, I know you're probably going to give me the side eye, but say like Michael Jackson.
Mm.
Michael Jackson, what I mean, was an icon. Like, people are fainting all over the world. We're talking globally. This man can shake the world, not a nation, the
Right.
world.
Right.
Okay. And people have lifted him up so high. Imagine being in a relationship with somebody that has that kind of weight, let's just say.
I wouldn't do it.
How is it, do what I'm thinking is it influenced because the world lift this guy up, where you now are influenced to lift this guy up too, and put him on this pedestal because the world has put him on this pedestal? Not saying you follow what the world do, but I'm saying the influence, right? Because we get influenced by certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the pressure, that this guy can't even leave his home, he can't even leave his house to go outside, paparazzi's everywhere, people are crying, fainting. Does that put you in a position where you unconsciously is putting this guy up on a pedestal? I don't know. I just use Michael as an
That's a
example.
no. That's a really good question. Hmm.
Like you're going out with,
Yeah. That may well and yeah well yeah most likely because maybe you even idolize the person as whoever they are to the public in the same light in the same manner.
100%. 100. It's crazy.
Mm,
No, 100%. It's like
wow, that is
the world is telling you that this guy is amazing. And you're gonna be like, hey, look, I need to pick up.
until
Yeah.
they prove to be human and not so amazing when you're not in front of those public
Can't
figures and public displays and all that kind of stuff.
bingo. But here's the other thing. Woo, this is getting good. Now, do you revert in protection mode? And so you're so protective of him like a baby, right? Because now things that can damage him, and you don't want that as a spouse to get out there because of the image globally that this guy has or this woman has. So now you're protecting him and kind of know that he's human, but don't want to believe. It's like,
Yeah, I'm not the one that's gonna be wanting to be with somebody who is that has I it's a that's that you would have to be I would think in a situation like that you would have to have some pinnacle of success that not necessarily matches but possibly mirrors the type of energy, as far as the world perception is concerned, because it's going to be too hard for somebody to step into that and there is no perception of them, if that makes sense. That's going to be way too unequally yoked.
true. I agree. 100%. I
Yeah.
mean, how do I, let's just use me as an example.
Mhm.
How do I match with this young lady that there's people hyperventilating and passing out? Like, we're like,
I mean, where do we go from here?
look, Miss Miss Coffee, look, I'm never gonna be seen. Like I'm we going look, we and I'm not saying I want to be seen. I'm just saying I am literally like the doorman. Like I'm literally non-existent.
Man, like you like what? I,
Yo,
you're
they
right
gonna push
about
you.
that.
Look, they gonna push you out the way into the bushes, into the corner to get to your spouse.
Period. Be like, I don't give a damn about you. I want to get to your husband. That would be, but you know what? That I mean, stepping into a partnership right like that would be very challenging. That would be a hard partnership to step into if you don't, like I said, if you don't have some type of limelight, where people have seen you and they like, oh my God, oh, Coffee married such and such, or Coffee is married to, she married him.
True.
You know what I mean? So,
Because I think for me, if I was that person that had that global attention,
mhm.
I, the person that I'm with, will first of all, I wouldn't have, the minute you're with that individual, you're a celebrity now. Your social media, if you have social media, has quadruple, right? Because usually, it's usually
Do you see
the
this?
husband.
Do you see the comment from Ryan?
No, go ahead.
Are you reading that?
I'm reading a little of it, but not
This
really
is
focused.
good.
What was?
So, to hop in while we're talking about this,
Yeah,
he says,
absolutely.
when we idolize someone, it's because we idolize the idea of them, but not necessarily their reality. That is why when we're in relationships, we must see the person clearly and let them understand that we see and appreciate their authentic, frail, and human self, and not just the idea of them that the world idolizes and praises. Great response. Great. He
Absolutely.
said it in what we were saying in a nutshell.
Hey,
Taylor, it's already 9 o'clock. Can you believe that it's already 9 o'clock? Are we
look,
going to continue this conversation next week? Is that what we're doing?
absolutely.
I don't think we're done with this. I don't think we're
Absolutely.
done.
Look, I'm loving this conversation. I mean, it's something that we don't really think about on a daily basis.
No, and not enough. Not we don't contemplate it enough as far as making a long-term commitment to someone and what that really looks like without
Absolutely.
losing ourselves.
Absolutely. And I think where I want to kind of talk or ask the question at another time is, who are you blaming when you lose yourself?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You might want to write that down, Taylor, because we need that for next week. We need that right in incorporated in the conversation for next week. Who is the blame when I lose myself? So if I lost myself, then I need to go find me. I lost me. I need to go find me.
Oh my.
Listen, we have come to the top of the hour. Phenomenal conversation, myself and Taylor Made Speaks. Taylor is pivoting with his brand, and so he's kind of being a little bit selfish with me as far as what we can expect to enjoy from him from 2023. So I'm waiting like y'all are with bated breath, like what's going on? What you doing? So he's being very secretive about his next pivot, but I'm excited about whatever it is. I know it's going to be fantastic. And I too will be pivoting this year. Some new things are on the horizon, which we aren't disclosing just yet. We're still in the process of bringing some things to pass. But this has been an exciting conversation. We're going to continue a part 2 on next week. We might invite some more friends. I don't know. We'll contemplate. We might invite some more friends. I don't know. But we will be back in the hot seat on next Tuesday. at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, for some more conversation on how do I stay true to me and not lose myself in a long-term commitment. So tonight's accessories that we're rocking tonight are from my private boutique. You see these gorgeous pieces. I got some gorgeous popping candy from my private boutique. You guys can definitely check us out. I will put the information on the screen for you to be able to go take a look at our website. And we do have an amazing sale going on right now, 40% off for you guys to take advantage of. And the keyword is coffee, Koffe, which is my name. So you can use the code word Koffe and grab some beautiful accessories at an affordable price. And next week, Taylor's going to remind me to make sure I pull the ticker up for our complimentary items that we offer to you guys. So we want to make sure that that ticker is prepared. I thought the ticker was here already, but it's not, Taylor. So I got to make sure I got the ticker for
Okay.
complimentary gifts for our viewing audience. And of course, next week we'll have Taylor's information as well for you guys. We'll have a ticker with Taylor's information on there as well to be able to share with you guys. But he'll put in the comments when we get out how you can connect with him and stay plugged in and enjoy some more commentary and content that he has for other things that he does in the coaching space and also with this graphic design. He does some amazing stuff. And of course, you want to connect with him directly to be able to have access to all those things. So until next time, Taylor, do you have anything you want to say to these lovely people before we get out of here tonight?
Look, let me tell you something. The last person that said that message, Ryan, he said it all. Look,
He
I
did. He said it.
I'm not going behind that. I think that was said. Look, I am just glad that I am able to see 2023.
Amen. Amen. See it, experience it, and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thank God.
Right. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in and tapping in with us tonight. Happy Joy Year is my anthem for this year. Happy Joy Year. I hope that you have an abundance of joy in your life. And it's not just centered by circumstances and things, but it's by you knowing who you are and whose you are. So, we hope to see some amazing things happen for each and every one of you guys for the year 2023. We bid you double shalom. God bless, and we'll see you all again on another edition of The Hot Seat. Good night for now.